Why do we rush to name every part of ourselves, as if being human needs a diagnosis? We live in a time where everything needs a label. Every thought, every mood swing, every shift in our personality. Everything has to fit neatly into a box, preferably with a name we can Google. If you're sad for a week, you start wondering if it's depression. If you feel tired, maybe it's burnout. If your chest feels tight once, maybe it's anxiety. If you like being alone, you call yourself an introvert. If you struggle with relationships, you search for an attachment style to blame. If you're overwhelmed, you immediately look for the closest term that feels like it describes you. And it's not because we're weak. It's because we've been taught that every feeling has to be explained to be acceptable. That every emotional shift needs a manual. We don't even feel things anymore. We diagnose them. We've turned normal human experiences into clinical categories. We've turned passing emotions into identities. We've turned discomfort into pathology. It's like we've forgotten how to simply be without a title pinned to our chest. Like being a person is a job, and the label is the ID badge we have to wear at all times. And if you can't label it, if you can't immediately define it, you start to panic. You start to feel like something's wrong with you. Like the confusion is the illness. Like the lack of clarity is a flaw. We've created this world where not knowing what you feel is treated like a personal failure. Where uncertainty means you're not self-aware. Where mystery means you're emotionally unstable. Where being human feels like not being enough. But the truth is, being human was never meant to be this clinical. Emotions aren't meant to be dissected the moment they arrive. Not everything you feel needs an immediate label, a definition, or a category. Sometimes an emotion is just an emotion. A wave passing through you. A message. A moment. We weren't designed to understand every feeling instantly. We were designed to experience them first. To let them move. To let them exist. To let ourselves exist with them. Before we name them. Before we sort them. Before we try to make them make sense. This obsession didn't come from nowhere. It's not a modern invention. Humans have always tried to make sense of the world by categorizing it. By naming things. By turning chaos into something we can hold. In ancient times, we labeled emotions to survive. Fear meant danger. Anger meant threat. Sadness meant loss. Joy meant safety. Labels weren't intellectual back then. They were instinctive. They kept us alive because they allowed us to react quickly. Without overthinking. Without confusion. Without hesitation. Then philosophy came. People started wondering why they felt the way they did. Why the mind could contradict itself. Why the heart could break without physical injury. Then psychology came. We finally began to name the invisible wounds. And for the first time, human suffering had language. A way to be recognized. A way to be treated. Then science came. And suddenly, labeling our inner world became a pathway to healing. It helped doctors identify mental illness. It helped researchers understand trauma. It helped people find words for pain they once carried in silence. For a long time, this was progress. It mattered. It moved us forward. It gave people clarity, control, validation. A roadmap through their own darkness. But somewhere along the way, something shifted. We stopped labeling to understand ourselves, and started labeling to define ourselves. We didn't just label illnesses. We labeled personalities, preferences, flaws, habits, coping mechanisms, emotional waves, normal human reactions that used to just be human. Every tiny shift inside us suddenly needed a name. Every mood had to belong to a category. Every behavior had to match a trait. As if we could simplify the complexity of a soul with a single word. And when the world became too fast, too loud, Too overwhelming. Labels became shortcuts. A quick explanation for discomfort we didn't have the energy to sit with. A way to feel less lost. A way to pretend we had more control than we actually did. Even if the label wasn't accurate. Even if it wasn't needed. Even if it limited us more than it helped. Because sometimes a label isn't clarity. Sometimes it's just comfort disguised as certainty. Labels used to guide us. They were like signposts on a road we didn't know how to navigate. They helped us recognize patterns in our behavior, made our suffering feel less random, and gave us words for experiences we didn't know how to hold. But today, they often do the opposite. We've reached a point where people believe that labeling an emotion automatically solves it. As if the moment you give it a name, the work is done. I'm anxious, okay, that explains everything. I'm overwhelmed, that must be why I'm shutting down. I'm avoidant, that's just who I am. But naming the feeling is not the same as healing it. Labeling is not resolving. It's just step one, not the destination. And somewhere along the way, something dangerous began happening. People stopped themselves from feeling until they could figure out what they were feeling. You pause your emotions. You mute your instincts. You delay your healing. All because you don't have the right vocabulary yet. It's like we've made uncertainty a disease. Like confusion is unacceptable. Like every emotion must come with a clean explanation before we're allowed to experience it. But clarity doesn't come first. Awareness doesn't come first. Naming doesn't come first. Feeling does. You're meant to feel the emotion before you understand it. You're meant to sit with it before you analyze it. You're meant to move through it before you try to label it. Because emotions aren't puzzles you decode. They're weather patterns you move through. They're meant to pass through you, not be pinned to a board like specimens. And you can't move through something you refuse to feel. What actually helps isn't labeling. It's presence. It's staying with your feelings long enough for them to unravel on their own. It's letting sadness simply be sadness, without rushing to rename it. Letting confusion exist without shame. Letting anger rise and fall without needing to diagnose it. Emotions aren't quizzes. They're not tasks you have to complete. They're signals. Messages from your inner world trying to reach the surface. And when you stop trying to immediately categorize them, you finally make space to hear what they're actually saying. So instead of asking, "What is this called?" try asking, "What is this trying to tell me?" Instead of forcing clarity, lean into curiosity. Instead of forcing identity, lean into openness. Your emotions aren't asking for labels. They're asking for room. For breath. For attention. And the truth is, the more you try to define every inch of yourself, the more you suffocate the parts of you that are still growing. Give yourself permission to exist without explanation, to feel without analysis, to be human without a label attached to every sensation. Because the moment you stop trying to categorize every feeling, you create space for something deeper. Awareness, understanding, and eventually, healing. Healing begins the moment you stop naming the experience and start living it. So here's your reminder. You don't have to name everything you're going through. You don't need a clean definition for every messy, shifting emotion. Some parts of you don't need diagnosis. They need compassion. They need gentleness. They need time to unfold. Sometimes you don't need to figure yourself out. You just need to sit with yourself. Feel without rushing. Be without performing. Live without labeling. Because not every emotion is meant to be understood immediately. Some are meant to be experienced slowly, honestly, fully. You're not meant to fit in a box. You're meant to grow beyond it.